When you change the way you think, you change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you change your world. Success starts in your mind. If you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you're right. Our mindset is the foundation of everything we do. The way we think impacts the way we act, the decisions we make, and how we see the world around us. If you want to make a real change in your life, it starts by changing the way you think. In this video, I'll show you how to change your mindset, how to break free from self-doubt, and how to push yourself toward greater success. Imagine waking up every day with confidence, clarity, and the belief that you can achieve your goals. What if I told you that it's possible to train your mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles, to be confident even in difficult situations, and to start living the life you've always dreamed of? Stick with me as we dive into the steps that will help you take control of your thoughts and shift your mindset. It's time to stop letting your mindset hold you back and start using it to move you forward. Let's make this change together and unlock the full potential that's waiting inside you. Number 1, decide to take control of your thoughts today. The decision to take control of your thoughts. It might sound too easy, but trust me, this decision can completely change the course of your life. Right now, in this moment, you have the ability to choose. You have the power to decide what goes on in your mind. And that's where everything begins. If you want to make real changes in your life, it starts by taking control of what you're thinking about. Think about this for a second. Every day you're bombarded with hundreds, if not thousands, of thoughts. Some are positive, some are negative, and some don't even seem to make sense. But here's the thing, they're all under your control. Yes, your mind might run wild sometimes, but at the end of the day, you can steer the ship. You can decide what to focus on and what to dismiss. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll start seeing your life move in the direction you want it to. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be easy. Taking control of your thoughts isn't something that happens overnight. It's a practice. It takes time. But the first step, the most important step, is deciding to do it. You have to make that choice right here and right now that you're going to take control of your thoughts. If you're serious about changing your life, this is where it all begins. You have to decide to take charge. For so many of us, we're so used to letting our thoughts just take over. You wake up in the morning and the first thing that comes to your mind is, I'm tired, I've got so much to do today. This is going to be hard. And before you even get out of bed, your mind has already set the tone for the day. It's already filled you with doubt and negativity. But what if instead of thinking like that, you decided to take control of your thoughts from the very moment you open your eyes? Imagine if, instead of focusing on everything you don't want, you started focusing on everything you do want. Think about that for a second. What if the first thought that came to your mind was, I'm going to make today great, or today, I'm going to move closer to my goals? That's what I mean by taking control. It doesn't have to be some big, dramatic change. It can start with small, simple shifts in your thinking. You see, when you make that decision to take control, you're no longer a passenger in your own life. You're in the driver's seat, and that's where you want to be. Because when you control your thoughts, you control your actions. When you control your actions, you control your results. And when you control your results, you control your life. But here's where it gets interesting. The world around you is full of distractions. People will try to pull you in all kinds of directions. You'll be tempted to think about all the problems, the struggles, and the obstacles. There will always be reasons to be negative, to get stuck in fear, or to feel like you're not good enough. But none of that matters if you decide to take control. When you take control of your thoughts, those distractions don't have the same power over you. It's all about perspective. If you're always focused on what's going wrong, you'll only see problems. But if you choose to focus on the solutions, you'll start seeing opportunities. And that's the difference between someone who is stuck and someone who is moving forward. It's not that the person who's moving forward doesn't face challenges. They do. We all do. But the person who decides to take control of their thoughts approaches those challenges with a different mindset. They see the challenge as something they can learn from. They see it as an opportunity to grow. And let me be clear, you're going to have bad days. There will be moments when your mind tries to take control, when you feel overwhelmed or like things aren't going your way. But the beauty of deciding to take control of your thoughts is that you don't have to let those moments define you. You don't have to let those moments dictate your future. Every single day is a new opportunity to take charge. And every time you choose to take control, you get stronger. Your mind gets stronger. So how do you start? It's simple. The next time you catch yourself thinking negatively, stop. Just pause for a second. Recognize that thought for what it is. It's just a thought. It doesn't define you. It doesn't have to control you. And then in that moment, decide to think differently. It's not about forcing yourself to feel happy all the time or pretending like everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see things differently, choosing to focus on what you can control, and choosing to think in a way that serves you. Start small. When you wake up in the morning, take a moment to think about one positive thing, just one. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be something as simple as being grateful for a new day or feeling proud of something you accomplished. That small shift in mindset can set the tone for the rest of your day. The key is to practice this every day. It won't be perfect. You'll have moments where your mind tries to take control, but if you keep at it, if you keep making the decision to take control, you'll start to see the change. It will become second nature. And one day you'll look back and realize that you've completely transformed the way you think. And as a result, you've completely transformed your life. Remember, you are in control. The thoughts that run through your head don't have to run wild. You have the power to choose what you focus on. And once you make that decision, everything changes. It all starts with deciding to take control of your thoughts today. Make that decision now and watch how it transforms your life. Number 2, remove every doubt and believe in your potential. When it comes to truly changing your life, one of the first things you need to do is believe in yourself. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Believe in your potential. But if you really stop and think about it, how many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you looked at a goal or a dream and thought, I don't know if I'm good enough? I've been there. We all have. But here's the thing. You are good enough. You are more than enough. And the moment you believe in that is the moment everything begins to shift. The power of belief is incredible. When you start to believe in yourself, doors begin to open. Opportunities start showing up. You begin to attract the things you need to move forward in life. But if you keep doubting yourself, if you keep telling yourself that you're not capable or that you're not worthy of success, then you're blocking yourself from everything that's possible. It's time to remove every doubt that's been holding you back. Right now, you have to make the decision to trust in your potential. I know it's not always easy. We all have insecurities. We all have moments of uncertainty. But those doubts, they don't define you. They're just thoughts. And just like any other thought, they can be replaced. Think about it this way. If you don't believe in your potential, who else will? If you're waiting for someone to give you permission to succeed, you're going to be waiting for a long time. You need to give yourself that permission. You need to stand up and say, I am capable. I have what it takes. I believe in myself. This isn't about being arrogant or cocky. It's about recognizing that you have something valuable to offer. You have unique skills, talents, and strengths. You have potential that's just waiting to be unleashed. The first step to unlocking that potential is to believe that it's there. It's about understanding that you don't need to be perfect to succeed. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to wait for the stars to align. What you need is the belief that you are worthy of success. You need to understand that the challenges you face are not a reflection of your worth or your abilities. They're just obstacles. Obstacles that you have the strength to overcome. Think about some of the most successful people in the world. They weren't born with all the answers. They didn't have everything handed to them, but they believed in themselves. They believed in their ability to figure things out, to learn, to grow. They didn't let fear or doubt stop them. And that's what you need to do too. Believe in yourself, even when it's hard. Believe in your potential, even when you can't see the whole picture yet. Now let's be real. This isn't about pretending that everything's easy. There are going to be days when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like you can't do it. That's normal. We all have those days. But the key is to remember that those feelings don't define you. They don't tell you who you are. They're just temporary, and you are bigger than any doubt or fear that tries to hold you back. When you believe in yourself, you start to act differently. You start taking chances. You start showing up in a way that reflects your belief in your own worth. You don't settle for less than what you deserve. You don't let fear keep you stuck in the same place. You take steps toward your goals, knowing that you can figure things out as you go. That's what belief in yourself looks like. It's not about knowing all the answers. It's about trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying you won't have setbacks or struggles. But I am saying that when you truly believe in your potential, nothing can stop you, because you will keep moving forward. You will keep fighting, and you will keep growing. No matter what life throws at you, that's the power of believing in yourself. So take a moment to think about the things you've been doubting. What's been holding you back? Is it the belief that you're not smart enough, not skilled enough, not experienced enough? I want you to hear this loud and clear. Those doubts are lies. They're stories you've been telling yourself. And the truth is that you are capable. You have everything you need to succeed. You just need to believe it. This is where the magic happens. When you stop looking outside of yourself for validation, and you start looking inward. When you stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're ready, and you start telling yourself that you're ready, that's when you unlock your true potential. That's when the doors begin to open, the opportunities start flowing, and your life starts shifting in ways you never thought possible. So right now, decide to let go of the doubt. Decide to trust in your potential. Every time that voice of doubt starts creeping in, remind yourself, I am capable. I believe in myself. I am worthy of success. You'll be amazed at what starts to happen when you fully embrace that belief. The possibilities are endless when you believe in your own potential. And remember, this isn't just about big goals or big dreams. This is about the small, everyday decisions, too. When you believe in yourself, you take action. You take steps toward your goals, no matter how small, and each of those steps adds up. Over time, those small actions will lead to big results. But it all starts with believing that you can do it, believing that you are enough. Number 3, feed your mind with powerful and positive ideas. Your mind is an incredible tool. It's one of the most powerful things you've got. The thoughts you think, the ideas you feed yourself, shape everything. And that's why it's so important to feed your mind with powerful, positive ideas. Too many of us, myself included at times, let our minds get consumed by negativity, by doubt, and by all the things that hold us back. But what if you started feeding your mind with the kind of ideas that would move you forward? What if you started choosing the kind of thoughts that would inspire you, uplift you, and push you toward greatness? Every single day, your mind is like a sponge. It soaks up whatever you feed it. If you feed it negativity, self-doubt, or fear, guess what? That's what's going to show up in your life. But if you feed it with positive, empowering, then that's what you'll start to attract. Your thoughts are that powerful, and it doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. What matters is what you decide to put into your mind today and moving forward. So let's start by talking about the kind of thoughts you need to feed yourself. The first thing that comes to mind is the idea of possibility. Start feeding your mind with the belief that anything is possible. I know that life can be tough sometimes, and the challenges may feel overwhelming. But I want you to remember that no matter how hard it gets, you are capable of finding a way through. You have more strength, more resilience, and more ability than you realize. You just need to start believing in it. Feed your mind with the thought that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. There is no dream too big for you. Next, start feeding your mind with ideas of growth and progress. Understand that you don't need to have it all figured out right now. Growth isn't about being perfect. It's about being better today than you were yesterday. It's about taking one step forward, no matter how small. And if you feed your mind with the idea that every day is an opportunity to grow, you'll stop beating yourself up over mistakes or setbacks. You'll start to see every challenge as a chance to learn, every obstacle as a stepping stone toward your success. Another thing to feed your mind with is gratitude. I know this might sound simple, but it's powerful. Gratitude shifts your focus. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have or what's going wrong, gratitude helps you focus on all the good things that are already in your life. It's so easy to get caught up in the negative. But when you make it a habit to feed your mind with thoughts of gratitude, you start to notice the blessings around you. You start to feel more content, more at peace, and more empowered to go after the things you want. I also want you to feed your mind with inspiration. Inspiration doesn't just come from hearing others' stories. It can come from books, podcasts, quotes, or anything that makes you feel like you can do more. Inspiration fuels action. When you're inspired, you're motivated to take the next step. And inspiration doesn't have to come from a big, dramatic source. It can be as simple as a line from a book, a story about someone who overcame odds, or even something you see in your everyday life. When you make it a habit to consume things that inspire you, you'll start to feel more motivated and excited to take on the day. Now let's talk about the kind of people you should surround yourself with, because that's just as important as what you put into your mind. The people you spend the most time with have a huge influence on your thoughts. If you're constantly around negative people who are full of doubt, criticism, and negativity, guess what? It's going to be hard to keep feeding your mind with positive ideas. You need to surround yourself with people who uplift you, encourage you, and challenge you to be better. Find people who believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. These are the people who will push you to grow, to take action, and to become the best version of yourself. I know life isn't always easy, and sometimes it feels like it's one setback after another. But remember, feeding your mind with positive ideas doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending like you're not struggling. It simply means choosing to focus on the things that will move you forward. It means choosing to see the possibilities instead of the problems. It means choosing to look at setbacks as temporary and failures as lessons. And here's the most important thing: you have the power to choose what you feed your mind. Every single day you get to decide what goes into your brain. You get to decide what you think about. You can choose to feed your mind with fear, negativity, and doubt, or you can choose to feed it with positivity, possibility, and growth. The choice is yours. I know it's not always easy. I know that sometimes life feels heavy, and it's hard to get out of a negative mindset. But every small effort counts. Every time you choose to focus on the positive, every time you challenge yourself to think differently, you're making progress. And over time, those small decisions add up. They become a habit, and that habit becomes a part of who you are. Before you know it, you'll be someone who naturally thinks positively, who naturally looks for solutions instead of problems. Start today. Start right now. Feed your mind with positive ideas. It could be as simple as reading something inspirational, listening to a motivational podcast, or even just taking a moment to appreciate the things you have in your life. Whatever it is, make a commitment to feed your mind with things that will move you forward, things that will help you grow, and things that will remind you of your potential. The truth is, you are capable of achieving great things, but it all starts with what you feed your mind. If you want to change your life, you have to change the way you think. And that begins with feeding your mind with powerful, positive ideas every single day. It's a process, it's a habit, and it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself. So take control of your mind, feed it the good stuff, and watch as your life begins to change in ways you never thought possible. Number 4, destroy every excuse stopping you from moving forward. Every time you make an excuse, you're giving yourself a reason to stay where you are. You're telling yourself, I can't do it because, and then you fill in the blank. But here's the thing, your excuses aren't real. They're just stories you tell yourself to avoid taking action. And if you really want to change your life, you have to destroy every single excuse that's standing in your way. Think about it for a second. What are the excuses that have been holding you back? Maybe you tell yourself, I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money, or I'm not good enough. Those excuses, no matter how real they may feel in the moment, are just ways of avoiding responsibility. They keep you in a place of comfort. They keep you from pushing yourself, from stepping outside your comfort zone, and from truly growing. But you know what? You have the power to change that. You don't have to let your excuses define you. You don't have to keep giving them power over your life. When you make excuses, you're telling yourself that the circumstances around you are more important than your dreams, your goals, and your future. And that's simply not true. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter what challenges you face. What matters is your willingness to take responsibility, to stop blaming external factors and start looking at what you can control. You may not be able to control everything that happens in your life, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to stop making excuses and start taking action. Let me give you an example. I'm sure you've heard the story of someone who started with nothing. Maybe they were broke. Maybe they had no connections. Maybe they faced incredible odds. But instead of making excuses, they decided to take action. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They didn't wait for things to get easier. They took what they had and started moving forward. And because they chose to act, instead of making excuses, they found a way to make things happen. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to be easy. I'm not saying that the path to success is going to be without challenges. In fact, it's going to be tough. But here's the key. When you stop making excuses, you start focusing on solutions. You stop wasting energy on why things can't be done. And you start asking yourself, how can I make this work? What can I do right now to move closer to my goals? And when you shift your focus from problems to solutions, that's when things start to change. Let me tell you something else. You're stronger than you think. You have the ability to face challenges head on and find a way through them. But when you're constantly making excuses, you're robbing yourself of the opportunity to grow. You're telling yourself that you can't handle it, that you're not capable. But the truth is, you are capable. You have the strength, the creativity, and the resourcefulness to overcome anything that comes your way. But you have to stop making excuses and start believing in your ability to find a solution. Think about the times when you've overcome something difficult in your life. Maybe it wasn't easy. Maybe you felt like giving up, but you pushed through. Why? Because you didn't make an excuse. You decided that you were going to make it happen, no matter what. And that's the mindset you need to adopt if you want to move forward in life. You need to decide that no matter what challenges come your way, you're going to find a way to overcome them. And if you don't know how, you're going to figure it out. You can't keep waiting for the perfect conditions. You can't keep waiting for everything to fall into place. The truth is, the perfect moment might never come. But you don't need the perfect moment. You just need the decision to start. You just need the determination to keep going, even when things get tough. Here's the secret. The people who succeed are not the ones who have the easiest path. They're the ones who refuse to make excuses. They're the ones who look at a challenge and say, this is tough, but I'm tougher. They're the ones who don't quit when things get hard. And that's what you need to do. You need to refuse to make excuses and refuse to let anything stop you from reaching your goals. Now, I know that sometimes the circumstances feel overwhelming. I know that sometimes it feels like there's no way out, like the obstacles are too big. But I want you to hear this loud and clear. You have the power to change your situation. You don't need to wait for someone to save you. You don't need to wait for a miracle. You have everything you need right now to start making progress. So take a hard look at your life. What excuses are you making right now? What are you telling yourself that's holding you back? Are you saying I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I don't have the right connections? Those are just excuses. They're not the truth. The truth is that you can start right where you are with what you have, and you can make progress toward your goals. But you have to stop making excuses and start taking action. It's time to take full responsibility for your life. It's time to stop blaming other people, other circumstances, or the past. The only thing holding you back is you. So make the decision right now to stop making excuses. Decide that no matter what happens, you are going to take action. You're going to find a way to make things happen, even if it's difficult, even if it's uncomfortable, and even if you don't have all the answers yet. The truth is, you have everything inside of you that you need to succeed, but you have to believe in yourself enough to take action. You have to trust that you can figure things out as you go, and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to make your dreams a reality. When you stop making excuses, you start moving forward. And when you start moving forward, that's when everything begins to change. Number 5, focus on solutions and stop complaining about problems. When you face challenges in life, it's easy to fall into the trap of focusing on the problems. It's natural to look around at the obstacles and feel like they're too much to handle. We all do it. We see the roadblocks, the difficulties, and we start to feel overwhelmed. But if you want to change your life, if you want to grow, and if you want to make progress towards your goals, then you need to shift your focus away from the problems and on to the solutions. Complaining about problems won't get you anywhere. Focusing on the solutions will. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. Life is tough sometimes. Things don't always go the way we plan. We face setbacks, disappointments, and challenges that make us question whether we're even on the right path. But if you're constantly focusing on the problems, constantly talking about how hard things are, you're wasting energy. Energy that could be better spent, finding ways to fix those problems, overcome those challenges, and move forward. Every time you complain, every time you dwell on the problem, you're not helping yourself. You're not helping your situation. You're just keeping yourself stuck. Complaining doesn't change anything. It doesn't fix the issue. It doesn't make the road any easier. All it does is reinforce the idea that things are tough and you're powerless to do anything about it. Now, here's the hard truth. Focusing on the solution doesn't mean ignoring the problem. It doesn't mean pretending the difficulties aren't there. What it means is that you refuse to let those problems dictate your life. You acknowledge the challenges, you accept that they exist, and then you move on to the next step, finding a way around them, over them, or through them. You make the decision that no matter what obstacles are in your way, you're going to find a solution, and you're going to keep moving forward. When you start focusing on solutions, you start training your mind to look for opportunities. And when you're actively looking for opportunities, you begin to see them everywhere. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become better. Every problem becomes a chance to improve your skills, your mindset, and your ability to handle life's difficulties. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're facing a tough situation at work. Maybe you're not getting along with a coworker. Maybe you're struggling with a project. Or maybe you're just overwhelmed by the workload. If you spend all your time complaining about how unfair the situation is, or how difficult things are, nothing is going to change. In fact, you're just going to make yourself feel worse. But if you shift your focus to the solution, you can start asking yourself, how can I handle this? What can I do to make this better? What can I control in this situation? Now, instead of feeling like the problem is controlling you, you're in control. You're taking responsibility, and you're figuring out how to move forward. And that's the key. It's all about taking responsibility. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. You can't control the actions of other people, but you can control your reactions. Focusing on solutions means you stop playing the victim. You stop looking for someone or something else to blame for your problems, and you start looking at yourself. What can you do to improve the situation? What can you do to move things forward? What steps can you take to solve the problem? It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of negativity, especially when things aren't going the way we want. It's easy to complain, to vent, and to focus on everything that's going wrong. But that mindset won't get you anywhere. If you want to create the life you dream about, you need to train your mind to focus on the solutions, not the problems. The more you focus on the solutions, the more your mind will start to look for them automatically. You'll start seeing new possibilities, new ways to approach the situation, and new ways to overcome the challenges in front of you. Now, I'm not saying that it's always going to be easy. Life is tough, and sometimes the solutions don't come right away. Sometimes it takes time to figure out the best way forward. But when you train yourself to focus on solutions, you're building a mindset that will serve you in the long run. You're building mental toughness. You're building resilience. You're building the ability to handle whatever life throws your way. The truth is, every challenge you face is an opportunity in disguise. And when you focus on the solutions, you start to uncover those opportunities. You start to see things you might have missed before. You start to realize that yes, things are tough right now, but that doesn't mean they'll always be tough. The challenges you face today will make you stronger, smarter, and more capable of handling the next challenge. Every time you solve a problem, you grow. Every time you find a way around an obstacle, you're building your problem-solving skills, your confidence, and your ability to succeed. But the key is to stop complaining. Stop focusing on what's wrong, and start focusing on what's right. Start looking for the opportunities within the challenges. Start asking yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation? Instead of feeling stuck, you'll begin to feel empowered. Instead of feeling helpless, you'll begin to feel like you have control over your life. And that, my friend, is where the magic happens. You see, the more you focus on solutions, the more you shift your mindset from a problem-centered approach to a solution-centered approach. And that's when things start to change. That's when you begin to move forward, no matter what's happening around you. That's when you start to see success, even in the most difficult situations. Number 6, push yourself to think bigger and aim higher. When you take a moment to think about your life, where do you see yourself in the future? What does success look like to you? And when you close your eyes and picture it, do you see yourself as you are right now? Or do you see someone bigger, someone stronger, someone more powerful? Let me tell you, you were not meant to stay small. You were not meant to just get by. You were not meant to live a life where you simply settle for whatever comes your way. You were meant to push yourself beyond your limits, to think bigger and aim higher. I get it. Thinking big can be scary. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your current circumstances are the only ones that matter. You think, this is the way it is. This is all I can do. This is who I am, and it's enough. But let me tell you something. It's not enough. You are capable of so much more. The only thing stopping you from achieving your biggest goals and dreams is your own thinking. If you don't think bigger, you'll never get bigger. If you don't aim higher, you'll never reach higher. Your mindset determines the size of your goals. And if you're not setting goals that scare you, you're not aiming high enough. Now I want you to stop and really think for a moment. What's the biggest goal you've ever set for yourself? What's the thing that feels so far out of reach that just thinking about it makes you nervous? Maybe it's a business you want to start, a career you want to change, a relationship you want to build, or an adventure you want to take. Whatever it is, I want you to hold that thought in your mind. Do you see it? Good. Now I want you to imagine yourself achieving that goal. Can you see it clearly? Can you feel the pride, the excitement, the satisfaction that comes with finally reaching it? The truth is, most people don't aim high enough. They set goals that feel safe, goals that are comfortable, goals that are within their reach. But what's the point of setting goals that you know you can achieve without stretching yourself? What's the point of playing it safe? Of living a life where you don't have to push past your limits, where you don't have to take risks, where you don't have to grow? I'll tell you this, if you keep aiming low, you're never going to experience the thrill, the growth, and the success that comes with aiming high. It's only when you stretch yourself beyond what you think is possible that you begin to discover what you're truly capable of. I know that it can be difficult to push yourself to think bigger. We're often taught to play it safe, to stick with what we know, to keep our expectations low, so we don't get disappointed. But that's the trap. That's what keeps people stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. When you play small, you get small results. When you think small, you create small opportunities. But when you push yourself to think bigger, when you set goals that challenge you, when you reach for things that scare you, that's when the magic happens. I want to challenge you right now to think about the next big step in your life, whatever that may be. What would it take for you to take that step? What would it take for you to stop holding yourself back and start going after what you really want? The reality is, most of the time, it's not the lack of resources, opportunities, or talent that holds us back. It's the lack of belief in ourselves and our ability to make things happen. And that belief starts with the way you think. When you change the way you think, you change the way you see the world. When you begin to see the world as full of limitless possibilities, your mindset shifts. You begin to look for opportunities instead of obstacles. You start thinking of ways to make it happen instead of reasons why it can't. Think about the most successful people in the world, the ones who have achieved extraordinary things in their lives. What do they all have in common? They didn't get to where they are by thinking small. They didn't get to where they are by waiting for things to come to them, or by settling for what was easy. They got to where they are by pushing themselves to think bigger, by setting goals that seemed impossible, by refusing to accept anything less than their best. And guess what? They failed along the way. They faced setbacks, challenges, and obstacles just like you and me. But what they did differently was that they didn't let those obstacles stop them. They didn't let fear hold them back. They didn't let the size of their goals overwhelm them. They took one step at a time and kept moving forward, even when it felt uncomfortable. You see, the most successful people in the world aren't any different from you or me. They don't have some secret formula for success. They don't have some magic ability to make their dreams come true. The only difference is their mindset. They refuse to settle. They refuse to think small. They refuse to let their circumstances define them. And that's exactly what you need to do too. I know it's not easy to push yourself to think bigger. It takes courage. It takes confidence. It takes the willingness to step out of your comfort zone and embrace the unknown. But I promise you, it's worth it. When you push yourself to think bigger, you open up a world of opportunities. You challenge yourself to do things you never thought possible. You create a life that is bigger, bolder, and more fulfilling. And in the process, you become the person you were always meant to be. So I want you to stop holding back. I want you to stop thinking that you're not capable of more. I want you to start thinking about what's possible, not what's easy. Don't let fear or doubt control you. Don't let your current circumstances limit your vision. Your potential is limitless, and the only thing standing in your way is your mindset. So start thinking bigger today. Start aiming higher today, and watch how your life begins to change as you push yourself toward the incredible future that's waiting for you. You've got this. The only thing left to do is believe in yourself, take action, and keep aiming higher. And trust me, as you do, you'll discover a version of yourself that you never even imagined. The bigger you think, the bigger your life becomes. So go ahead, aim higher, and make it happen. Number 7, train your brain to see opportunities in every challenge. It's easy to get bogged down, to lose sight of the bigger picture, and to start doubting yourself. We've all been there, right? You're faced with a tough situation. Maybe it's a failure, a setback, or an obstacle that seems impossible to overcome. The natural reaction is to feel discouraged, frustrated, or even defeated. But here's the thing. Every challenge you face is actually an opportunity in disguise. It might not seem like it in the moment, but it's true. You just have to train your brain to see it that way. This is where mindset comes in. It's easy to focus on the problem, to get stuck in the details of what's not working. But the key to overcoming any challenge is to shift your focus. Instead of fixating on the roadblock, start looking for the opportunity. I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's not. But if you want to succeed, if you want to achieve something great, you have to train yourself to look for solutions rather than get bogged down by the problem. Let's think about this for a second. Life is full of challenges. They're inevitable. No one gets through life without facing some tough times. It could be a career setback, a personal loss, financial difficulties, or anything else that feels like it's standing in your way. But when you face these challenges, you have two choices. You can either see them as obstacles that stop you in your tracks, or you can see them as opportunities to grow and become stronger. It's all about perspective. The way you see things will determine how you respond. If you look at a challenge and immediately think, "This is impossible. There's no way I can get through this," then guess what? You won't. You'll stay stuck. But if you look at that same challenge and say, "This is tough, but I'm going to figure it out," your mindset shifts. Suddenly, you're thinking about how to solve the problem, how to move forward, how to make progress. And that's where the real power lies. We all have the ability to reframe our thinking, to shift our focus from the problem to the solution. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes practice. But just like any skill, the more you practice, the better you get at it. And eventually, you'll train your brain to automatically look for the opportunities in every challenge. Let me give you an example. Think about a time in your life when you faced a challenge. Maybe it was a tough situation at work, a difficult relationship, or a personal struggle. In that moment, it probably felt like everything was falling apart, right? But looking back now, can you see any lessons you learned? Can you see any way that challenge helped you grow? I bet you can. The tough times, as difficult as they are, often teach us the most valuable lessons. They push us to develop new skills, to think creatively, to become more resilient. And even if we don't realize it in the moment, those challenges are shaping us into the person we need to become in order to reach our goals. The key is to stop seeing challenges as setbacks and start seeing them as stepping stones. Every time you face a challenge, you have the chance to level up. You have the chance to strengthen your mental muscles, to build resilience, and to develop the skills you need to move forward. It's not about avoiding the challenges. It's about learning how to handle them when they come up. And trust me, they will come up. But if you train your brain to see the opportunities in every challenge, you'll find yourself becoming stronger and more capable with every step. Let's take a closer look at how you can actually train your brain to see opportunities instead of problems. It starts with changing your language. The words you use, both in your head and out loud, have a huge impact on your mindset. If you constantly tell yourself, "This is too hard, I can't do this," then you're programming your brain to believe that. But if you start telling yourself, "This is tough, but I'm gonna find a way," you're sending a different message. You're telling your brain, "I'm capable, I can figure this out." And that's exactly what will happen. Your brain will start looking for ways to solve the problem, rather than getting stuck in the hopelessness of it. Another way to train your brain is by focusing on what you can control. It's easy to get overwhelmed when you're faced with a challenge. But here's the truth. There are always things you can control, even in the most difficult situations. It could be how you respond to the challenge, how you approach the problem, or how you manage your emotions. The more you focus on what you can control, the more empowered you'll feel. And when you feel empowered, you're much more likely to find creative solutions and move forward. You also need to remind yourself that no challenge is permanent. Every tough situation is temporary. Sure, it might feel like it's lasting forever when you're in the middle of it, but nothing lasts forever. Think about all the difficult times in your past. How many of them have you overcome? How many of them were just temporary obstacles that you eventually moved past? You've done it before, and you can do it again. Challenges don't last forever, but the lessons you learn from them stay with you. And don't forget the importance of persistence. Success rarely happens overnight. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to keep going, even when it feels like you're not making progress. But every time you face a challenge and keep moving forward, you get one step closer to where you want to be. It's the persistence that makes the difference. If you give up at the first sign of difficulty, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. But if you keep going, if you push through the tough times and keep looking for the opportunities in every challenge, you'll come out stronger on the other side. Now I want you to think about your own life. What challenges are you currently facing? What obstacles are standing in your way? Whatever they are, I want you to remember this. There's an opportunity hidden inside that challenge. You might not see it right now, but it's there. And when you shift your mindset, when you start looking for solutions instead of problems, you'll start to uncover those opportunities. You'll start to see ways to move forward, ways to grow, and ways to achieve what you've set out to do. Number 8, build mental toughness and never let fear control you. Building mental toughness isn't something that happens overnight. It's not about having a naturally strong mind. It's about developing the strength to push through the tough times, to deal with challenges head on, and to keep going when everything inside of you is telling you to quit. And let me tell you, that's the real key to success. It's not the smart, the talented, or the lucky ones who make it. They're often the ones who give up at the first sign of trouble. The real winners are the ones who keep going. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how many obstacles they face. Think about it. Life throws all kinds of stuff at you. Things don't always go as planned, and sometimes it feels like the world is against you. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the situation. They have the same problems, the same difficulties. The difference lies in how they respond to those challenges. Mental toughness is all about your response to adversity. It's the ability to keep your head in the game even when the going gets tough. When you hit a rough patch, it's easy to give in to frustration, to get angry, to feel sorry for yourself. But that's where mental toughness comes in. It's about choosing not to let those feelings control you. It's about deciding that no matter what happens, you're going to keep moving forward. I want to take a moment to break it down for you. Mental toughness isn't about being immune to hardship. It's not about pretending that life is easy or that challenges don't affect you. It's about learning how to keep going when you're facing hardship. It's about understanding that tough times don't define you. They don't make you weaker. In fact, they can make you stronger. Every obstacle you overcome, every challenge you face and push through, it makes you tougher. The process of building mental toughness starts with your mindset. If you walk into a situation already believing that you can't handle it, guess what? You won't. Your mind is incredibly powerful. It will either help you succeed or hold you back, depending on what you choose to believe. So you need to start believing that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's not about being perfect or invincible. It's about knowing that you have the ability to figure things out, to find a way, to keep going no matter what. Let me tell you something. When you're mentally tough, you start to look at problems differently. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, you start to see them as opportunities to grow. Every time something goes wrong, every time you hit a setback, it's just another chance for you to become a stronger version of yourself. You start to understand that the obstacles you face are part of the process. They're the things that build you up, that help you develop the skills and resilience you need to achieve your goals. But here's the thing, building mental toughness takes time, and it takes practice. It's not something that just magically happens. It's like building muscle in the gym. You don't just wake up one day and find that you're stronger. You have to put in the work. You have to challenge yourself. You have to push your limits, even when it's hard, and that's how you grow. So how do you actually develop mental toughness? Well, it starts with training yourself to be uncomfortable. Mental toughness isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about learning how to deal with it. In fact, the more you embrace discomfort, the stronger you become. I'm not saying you should go looking for pain or misery, but I am saying that you shouldn't run from the tough stuff. When you face a challenge, when you feel that discomfort, lean into it. Don't shy away from it. Every time you do that, you're building your mental muscle. Another important part of mental toughness is self-discipline. It's easy to be tough when everything is going well, right? But life isn't always smooth sailing. When things get hard, that's when your self-discipline has to kick in. It's about doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's about sticking to your goals, even when the motivation is low, and continuing to push forward when it feels like you're getting nowhere. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of mental toughness. It's what keeps you going when you feel like giving up. It's what helps you keep making progress when the results aren't immediate. And let me tell you, results don't always come quickly. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate progress, but that's where your mental toughness comes in. You have to keep pushing, even when it feels like you're not making headway. Because when you stay disciplined, when you continue to put in the work, the results will come. They always do. Let's talk about another key element of mental toughness, the ability to stay focused. It's so easy to get distracted, especially when things aren't going your way. It's easy to start complaining, to look for excuses, to blame others, or to get caught up in the negativity. But when you're mentally tough, you don't let those distractions pull you off course. You stay focused on your goals, and you keep your eyes on the prize, no matter how many setbacks you face along the way. Staying focused isn't always easy, especially when you're facing multiple challenges at once. But that's when mental toughness really comes into play. It's about maintaining clarity in the face of chaos. It's about knowing what you want, why you want it, and staying committed to that vision, no matter how many distractions come your way. It's about taking the long view, understanding that the journey might be tough, but it's worth it. Now let's talk about fear. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to mental toughness. Fear can paralyze you, hold you back, and stop you from taking action. But here's the truth. You're always going to feel fear. That's normal. Everyone feels fear. The key is not letting it control you. Mental toughness is about acknowledging fear, accepting it, and choosing to act anyway. It's about being scared but doing it anyway. It's about taking the first step, even when your knees are shaking, and your mind is telling you to stop. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to stop you. It's only when you let fear control you that it becomes a problem. When you embrace fear and push through it, that's when you unlock your true potential. You'll never know how strong you are until you face your fears head on. And the more you do that, the more resilient you become. Number 9. Surround yourself with strong minds and positive energy. When it comes to achieving success, one of the most important things you can do is to surround yourself with the right people. The people you spend the most time with will have a profound impact on your mindset, your attitude, and ultimately, your success. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. Who you surround yourself with can either lift you up or drag you down. It's up to you to decide which kind of influence you want in your life. Now think about the people in your life. Are they encouraging you to be the best version of yourself? Are they challenging you to grow, to become better, and to keep moving forward? Or are they pulling you down with negativity, excuses, and doubts? The reality is, it's much harder to succeed when you're surrounded by people who don't believe in you or who are content with mediocrity. If you want to get better, you have to surround yourself with people who are on the same path. You need to surround yourself with strong minds, people who are positive, people who are driven, people who are hungry for success just like you. Let's talk about the power of positive energy for a moment. Energy is contagious. If you're constantly around people who are full of negativity and complaints, guess what? You're going to absorb that energy, and it's going to affect your own mindset. Negativity is like a virus. It spreads quickly and it can destroy your motivation if you let it. But on the flip side, positive energy is equally contagious. When you're around people who are positive, who have a can-do attitude, it lifts you up. Their optimism and enthusiasm become yours. It makes you believe that anything is possible because you're constantly hearing it from the people around you. Think about the people who inspire you. Who do you look up to? Why do they inspire you? Chances are they inspire you because they have a mindset that pushes them to do things others might consider impossible. They're not settling for mediocrity. They're striving for greatness. They've created a mindset that doesn't allow them to quit, and that's what makes them stand out. When you surround yourself with people who have that kind of mindset, you start to think the same way. Their belief in themselves becomes your belief in yourself. Their energy becomes your energy. And the best part is, it's contagious. The more you surround yourself with these kinds of people, the more you'll adopt their habits, their mindset, and their success. But it's not just about being around positive people, it's also about being around strong minds. People who challenge you to think differently. People who don't just agree with everything you say, but push you to think deeper, to question your assumptions, to expand your worldview. These are the kinds of people who force you to grow. They might challenge you, they might make you uncomfortable, but that's exactly what you need if you want to get better. Growth doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. It comes from stepping outside of it and challenging yourself to think bigger, to dream bigger, and to reach higher. When you're around strong minds, you start to think on a higher level. You start to see things from different perspectives, and you begin to question the things you've always taken for granted. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and that's a game changer. The way you think shapes the way you act, and the way you act shapes your results. If you want to change your results, you've got to change the way you think. And the best way to do that is to surround yourself with people who force you to elevate your thinking. It's important to remember that not all relationships are beneficial to your growth. Some people are simply not in the same place as you, and that's okay. But if you're serious about leveling up, you've got to be conscious of the people you spend time with. If you're hanging around people who are constantly complaining, who are stuck in their own negative thought patterns, or who are content with settling for less than they're capable of, that's not going to help you grow. In fact, it's likely to hold you back. That's why it's essential to create a circle of influence that supports your goals. If you want to be successful, you've got to surround yourself with people who are equally committed to their own success. People who will hold you accountable when you're slacking off. People who will encourage you when you're feeling down. People who will push you to be your best, even when it's uncomfortable. And don't just rely on the people in your immediate circle. Seek out mentors, coaches, or people who have already accomplished what you want to achieve. These people have been where you are, and they can offer valuable insights and guidance that can save you time and effort. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Find people who have done what you want to do, and learn from them. Let their experience and wisdom guide you on your journey. At the same time, remember that you can't just be a passive participant in these relationships. If you want to surround yourself with strong minds and positive energy, you've got to be a source of that energy yourself. It's not enough to just take. If you want to attract people who inspire and challenge you, you've got to be willing to give the same in return. Be the person who lifts others up, who challenges them to think bigger, who encourages them to push past their limits. Be the person who helps others become the best version of themselves, and you'll attract the same energy back into your life. Another important point to remember is that relationships are a two-way street. If you want to surround yourself with strong minds, you've got to be willing to be vulnerable and open to learning. It's not just about finding people who will agree with you or praise you. It's about finding people who will help you grow, even if that means they challenge you or point out where you can improve. And that's a good thing. Growth happens when we step outside of our comfort zone and get honest feedback. So be open to it. Be willing to learn from others, and be willing to challenge yourself to get better. Ultimately, the people you surround yourself with will play a huge role in your success. So take a moment to evaluate the relationships in your life. Are they helping you grow? Are they pushing you to be better? Or are they holding you back? If you're serious about success, it's time to make a change. It's time to surround yourself with people who lift you up, who challenge you, and who inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Because when you do that, when you build a network of strong, positive, and supportive people, you're setting yourself up for greatness. And that's what it's all about. Creating an environment where you can thrive, where you can grow, and where you can achieve everything you're capable of. So go ahead, take action. Surround yourself with the right people and watch your life transform. Number 10. Commit to lifelong learning and keep growing every day. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not something you achieve in a month or even a year. It's a lifelong process. If you're serious about improving your life, about becoming the person you know you're meant to be, you have to make a commitment to never stop learning and to never stop growing. You can't expect to achieve greatness if you're not constantly developing yourself, both personally and professionally. Success is not about what you achieve today, tomorrow, or next year. It's about what you do every single day to get better, to be better, to learn more, and to move closer to the person you want to become. So what does lifelong learning look like? It starts with understanding that no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. The world is constantly changing. And if you're not actively learning and growing, you're being left behind. The truth is, the most successful people in the world aren't the ones who know it all. They're the ones who never stop learning. They're always looking for new ways to improve, new skills to develop, and new knowledge to acquire. They understand that personal growth is a journey that never ends. And that's exactly why they keep achieving higher levels of success. You have to have the same mindset. You have to be committed to your own growth. Not just today, but every single day. The more you learn, the more you can give to the world. You can't help others if you haven't helped yourself first. So start by looking at the areas of your life where you know you can improve. Maybe it's your skills, your mindset, your health, or your relationships. Whatever it is, commit to learning and growing in those areas every single day. Find ways to challenge yourself, whether that's through reading books, taking courses, learning from mentors, or simply pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. But it's not just about learning new things, it's also about unlearning things that no longer serve you. We all have limiting beliefs, habits, and ways of thinking that hold us back. These are the things that keep us from reaching our full potential. Maybe you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve success, or that you're too old to make a change. These are the stories you've been telling yourself for years, and it's time to let them go. If you want to grow, you need to replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. You need to start telling yourself a new story, a story where you are capable, worthy, and deserving of everything you want in life. Lifelong learning also means being open to change. Change is inevitable. And if you're not flexible, you'll get stuck in the past. The world around you is constantly evolving, and so must you. If you're not adapting to the changes happening in your industry, in technology, in society, and even in your personal life, you're going to fall behind. That's why it's so important to stay curious, to stay open-minded, and to embrace new opportunities as they come your way. Don't be afraid of change. Welcome it. Change brings growth, and growth brings success. It's also essential to take action on what you learn. Knowledge is power, but only if you apply it. Learning something new is great, but it's useless if you don't put it into practice. The most successful people are the ones who take what they've learned and immediately start using it to improve their lives. So make sure that when you learn something new, you take action on it right away. Whether it's a new productivity technique, a new way of thinking, or a new skill you've acquired, put it to work. The more you practice, the more you'll see results. The more you act, the more you'll grow. And let's not forget about the importance of consistency. You can't expect to change your life overnight. It's the small, consistent actions that add up over time. It's about doing something every day that moves you closer to your goals. Whether it's reading a chapter of a book, working on your side business, exercising for 30 minutes, or meditating to clear your mind. These small actions compound over time and lead to massive results. Success is the result of consistent, daily efforts. So if you want to make lifelong learning a habit, make it a part of your daily routine. Commit to learning and growing every day. No matter how small the steps may seem, over time those small steps will lead to big changes. Another key aspect of lifelong learning is the importance of self-reflection. It's not enough to just learn and grow. You also need to reflect on your progress. Take time to evaluate where you are, where you've been, and where you're going. Ask yourself the tough questions. Are you doing enough? Are you growing as much as you should be? What can you do differently? Self-reflection helps you stay on track. It helps you course correct when you're going off track. And it helps you stay motivated when things get tough. It's a crucial part of the process. And it's something that the most successful people do regularly. They take time to assess their progress, learn from their mistakes, and adjust their actions accordingly. Lifelong learning also means embracing failure. Yes, I said it. Failure. You're going to fail, and that's okay. In fact, failure is one of the most valuable tools for learning and growth. It's how you learn what doesn't work and how you improve. The most successful people in the world have failed many times, but they've used their failures as stepping stones to success. They don't see failure as something to be afraid of. They see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. So don't shy away from failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Finally, remember that your journey of lifelong learning is unique to you. It's not about comparing yourself to others. It's about focusing on your own growth, your own progress, and your own goals. Don't worry about what other people are doing or how far ahead they seem. Focus on your own path and trust that as long as you keep learning, keep growing, and keep taking action, you'll get where you want to go. If you want to succeed, you've got to commit to lifelong learning. Never stop growing, never stop improving, and never stop striving to become the best version of yourself. Keep learning, keep pushing yourself, and keep moving forward. The more you learn, the more you'll accomplish. The more you grow, the more you'll become the person you were always meant to be. And that's the key to long-term success. The commitment to continuous learning, growth, and improvement. So what are you waiting for? Start today and make lifelong learning a part of your journey. Your future self will thank you.